All right, good evening. Thank you, everybody, for waiting. Time is 7:03 on July 12th, Tuesday. It's the Abington Conservation Commission meeting. First item is old business SE 084-556, notice of intent filed by Abington DPW, Beaverbrook Playground Committee for rehabilitation of Beaverbrook Playground located at 1 Ralph G. Hamlin Lane. Kelly, you want to get up to the podium to state your name?
So my name is Kelly Johnson. I am the representative from the DPW on the Beaverbrook Playground Committee. Do you just want a background of the project?
If you want to just give a quick one, I mean, I think it was what, more than 2 months it took to get
Yes.
the DP file number, but yeah.
Yeah, so we're tearing down the old wooden playground, the one that's right next to Beaverbrook Elementary, and it will be replaced with a new playground, slightly smaller. It will be moved out about 60 to 80 feet away from the river, depending on the area. It will be about half the square footage. That is just because playgrounds are much more expensive nowadays anyway, but it's also being replaced with more of a metal composite rather than the wood, which obviously is a much larger structure.
Any questions from the board? Open it to the public. All right, bring it back to the board. Any further discussion? Someone like to make a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve SE 084-556, notice of intent filed by Abington DPW.
Is there a second? All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you, guys.
Good luck. And we'll do the orders after we get through everything else. Next on the agenda is SE 084-501, request for certificate of compliance located at 75 Nile Street. This came before us the last two meetings. We received the as-built and the certified letter from the PE. Should have been in the packets. Did everybody get a chance to review those? I know we did, I think we talked about it 2 meetings ago. We did the site walk. You, Tim, Alex, and I. Any questions from the board? Anybody in the public? Bring it back to the board.
I'd like to make a motion for SC 084-501, request for certificate of compliance.
Second?
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right. Yes. Next up, request for certificate of compliance. Tony, the file number's not on here for this one. Oh, okay, it's on Kyle Garvey's letter. So SE 084-546. Request certificate of compliance for 151 Dorsey Street. Again, we discussed this at the last meeting. The only piece of paperwork we were missing was the certified letter. The as-built, we got a chance to look at them at the last meeting, and the letter was included in everybody's packet. Anybody have any questions on that? Anybody in the audience? Bring it back to the board.
I'd like to make a motion to approve SE 084-546, request for certificate of compliance, 151 Dorsey Street.
Do I have a
I'll
second?
that.
All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Unanimous. All right. Next up is SE 084-0555, abbreviated notice of resource area delineation filed by Jim Lambert, WP East Acquisitions LLC, located at 0 Summer Street. They've asked for a continuance to the July 26th meeting. At that meeting also, our peer reviewer from LEC is going to be there. That way, if anybody has any questions, he'll be there to answer them. They've also asked for a site walk to look at the intermittent stream and anything else anybody from the board has any questions on. They'd like to do that on Wednesday, July 20th at 5 o'clock. Is that good for everybody?
That works for me.
All right, somebody want to make a motion to continue?
Make a motion, we continue SE 084-0555 to the next meeting.
July 26th. Do I have a second?
Second?
All those in favor?
Aye.
Unanimous. All right. Next up is discussion on the enforcement order at 0 Hancock Street. So last week, the property owner was supposed to install some further erosion control to complete what they didn't get done by the July 8th deadline, and also to install erosion control in an area that was, where it was improperly installed in the first wetlands crossing. I wasn't part of that, I was on vacation last week, I know Tim. Who was there? You, Lynn, and Jean?
Gene, yes.
Okay, you wanna bring us up to speed on that?
Yep. So actually, I was contacted about 8:30 that morning by Nicole from the Cotter company. They're the one doing I believe she's the wetland scientist.
Yep.
And she was having issues accessing one of the crossing areas and was under the impression that we had a meeting scheduled at 8 a.m., but ours was actually scheduled for 5 p.m. that evening to inspect what they were going to install that day. When I met with her, she introduced me to a foreman and a laborer. There was 2 gentlemen there installing the silt sock. It weighs about 40 pounds a foot. Accessing is tight, I understand that. They were looking more or less for permissions to bring in equipment, which we're kind of deferring to the DEP at this point to have them come out and inspect the whole situation before we proceed with any decisions. So as it sits now, it's about, I'd say, 60% stabilized. It's about 50% left to go, very challenging area. And every day that goes by kind of leaves the wetlands susceptible, to a rainstorm. So we really are eager to get this stabilized and get this done so we can move on with restoration efforts. At this point, I think we're going to have to wait for DEP before we can do anything further as far as allowing them any hydraulic equipment out there, I would say.
Right, I mean, I've seen it done before, but I think it's better to get DEP's blessing.
Absolutely.
I think
I
it's
agree.
reasonable.
And the meeting's scheduled for what, Thursday? This Thursday at what
Yes.
time?
What's that meeting for?
I'd do a site walk with Andrew Point from DEP.
Thursday? And what time was that at?
I'm going right now to see.
10 o'clock, I thought?
8 a.m.
8 a.m., okay.
8 a.m. Thursday.
Has that been posted, Tony? All right, so who's gonna go so we're not violating anything? Okay, no, it's for this Thursday.
I have another commitment, so I can certainly bow out of that, so we don't.
You wanna keep it you,
I can go.
well, why don't you just keep it the same 3 people that went to the last one, that way
Fine with me.
you guys have already been there,
Fine
no?
with that.
All right, so it'd be Jean, Lynn, and Tim. Now, do we want to talk about starting to issue fines just to kind of urge him to get this done? I mean, by rights, we should have done it after it wasn't installed by June 8th, which was the first day. The first deadline we gave him in our last May meeting. I mean, we can give him the first violation's a warning, verbal warning, I can send a letter too. And then, I don't know, after the meeting you guys have on Thursday, give him a drop dead deadline, say it needs to be completed by this date or else we'll start
Right.
issuing monetary fines,
Now, is that day by day basis, week by week?
day by day.
Day by
The
day?
increase, if you look at the packet, the increase, first one's a warning, second one's a $50 fine, third violation's a $100 fine, fourth is $200, then The 5th and every one thereafter is $300.
And that's per day, they infinitely.
Yeah. Like I said, when you guys meet out there on Thursday, because it's tough to say we want to do it on this day without knowing what they're gonna,
Right.
what Andrew recommends doing.
Right.
And the
I think-
DEP will be there to make a determination,
Right.
so we won't.
And everybody will be there, the wetland scientist, hopefully the property owner, that way there's no surprises. And you guys can email Tony, email myself, that way everybody knows.
Mm-hmm.
And hopefully they get it done before that.
I think that at least issuing them a warning to get the thing in motion, I don't think there's any harm in that.
No,
Not at all.
like I said, we don't want to find anybody, we want to
Right.
just make sure it gets done. I know we might get a deluge of rain and within the
10
next
minutes.
hour.
Yep.
Maybe they've been very lucky that we're, 6 inches or 6.5 inches in
Deficit.
deficit, yeah. So someone want to make a motion for a warning, first violation?
I'll make a motion to give a warning for 0 Hancock Street.
Second that.
All those in favor? Aye. Unanimous. All right, new business. Request for a notice of intent filed by Kevin O'Brien, Massachusetts Electric Company, located various properties.
Okay. Hi, my name is Molly Lennon. I'm with TRC here representing Massachusetts Electric Company tonight. I'm here to talk about work that we're proposing to do along the C3, S9, and H1 lines in Abington. This work is part of a larger project that you all had approved a few years ago that we finished up last year, but Massachusetts Electric Company has gone back and done resistivity testing and found that several structures had failed that testing. So we are looking to install counterpoise to ground the structures. And we're looking to do this at 6 structures, 2 of which are within 100-foot buffer zone, and then 4 within bordering vegetated wetland. So the counterpoise would just be a small underground wire that we would install using a small excavator. We would dig a small trench about 2 feet wide and 3 feet deep. And then we would put the counterpoise in and then backfill the trench with the same soil that we dug out. And then in areas outside of the wetland, we would first put in a layer of concrete before backfilling it with the same soil. So all this proposed work would not result in any permanent impacts. It would just be temporary. And we base these temporary impacts off a delineation we did back in 2017, and then we redid the delineation this past spring. So on the plans I believe you all have, you can see the various structures that we're looking to work at. The first one is on page 3, structure 17, which is technically in Whitman, but we're looking to install the counterpoise potentially into a portion of wetland buffer zone in Abington. And the layouts of the counterpoise could vary depending on the actual constraints in the field. So we've laid out the most that we would build pretty much. So on page 3, that structure has a full X configuration, but we might not need all of that, counterpoise. The next structure on page 4 is structure 30. This one is within a wetland itself. The structure is within a wetland, so you'd have a work pad made from timber mats in the wetland, and then we'd install the counterpoise going out from the wetland, and then we'd potentially need to add a couple of ground rods there, just since we're constrained by the tree line and the wetland in the road there. The next spot, we had included in the NOI filing is structure 45, but our crews went out there just to take a look, and they determined that they could actually just install counterpoise in one direction going away from the wetland, and that structure there is outside of the wetland buffer zone. So we sent you all a notification letter, I think last week, about that. So we're no longer doing work there. The next structure is structure 39. That is completely within the wetland, so we would need to put some timber mats in to access the structure, and then more timber mats as a work pad. And then we'd just do one line of counterpoise with a ground rod there. And then structure 40 would be within the wetland buffer zone. And then the final two are on page 7, and that is structure 56 and 57. Those are both just within the wetland itself, and then we would install counterpoise leading out of the wetland, but that would be in the wetland buffer zone. So again, those are all temporary impacts. We'd be following Massachusetts Electric Company's best management practices, so that includes installing erosion controls between the work area and the wetland, including like straw wattle, silt fence, whatever we may need. And we'd have an inspector go out once a week to check the areas. And then we would, once the work is completed, we would repair any disturbed areas back to pre-construction conditions. Do you all have any questions?
What you're gonna use straw wattle and silt fence, or?
We usually just use straw wattle, but we kind of just base it off what we see in the field. If we
Right.
do see an area that might need silt fence, and we'd install that.
Could you say your name again?
Yeah, Molly Lennon.
Are you gonna have to do any clearing or anything to get at any of these spots, or the easements are pretty well
Yeah, so
maintained already?
no tree clearing. It's all within the maintained right of way.
Yep.
So just some hand clearing of shrubs.
Anyone else have any questions? Anybody from the audience? Back to the board. Further discussion? Someone like to make a motion?
Filing of
Someone want to make a motion? Oh,
Yeah, that's what I'm
Yeah.
looking for.
oh, where is it? Oh, okay. Hold on. Yep.
We have the rest of the number.
She's looking it up.
She's looking for it.
The rest of the file number.
I see 0,
0845557.
557.
All right, so does somebody want to make a motion to approve or deny 084-0557?
I'll make a motion to, approve the notice of intent SC 084557.
Second.
All those in favor? Aye. Approved. Thank you for waiting.
Yeah, no problem.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
All right, next up is a vote on the conservation checklist. This is something we've been discussing, same thing for about 2 months now. No. If we vote to approve, well, there was something about the times that we could do site visits, and I wanted to keep it, it was very open-ended in this. I wanted to change it like we're doing on our order conditions, make it from 7 AM to 7 PM. Try to reach out to the applicant first, and if they don't reach out, then we'll go out and do the site visit. But do our best to notify the resident before we come out there, whether it's by email, phone, Tony reaching out to him by email, phone call, whatever. Somebody want to make a motion on this?
I'll make a motion to approve the conservation checklist, is that what we're calling it?
Yep. For notice of intent.
For notice of intent for the conservation checklist.
Do I have a second?
I think second for discussion.
Okay.
I'd like to have a friendly amendment. Can we put this on a 30-day trial period and reevaluate it? Only because we've got so much work going on. Tony's certainly busy. This checklist being new, I'd like to not maybe necessarily put in permanently right this second, but let's evaluate the intent of having this checklist to make life easier. And in fact, if it does make it easier, then we can just continue it.
Yeah, I would do it for 2 months, just because we might not get a notice of intent in the next month or so.
Okay.
So,
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah.
That sounds. You do 60
I agree
days?
on it.
yeah.
Good point.
All right, someone want to make a motion on that?
All you have to do is accept my amendment.
I accept Rich's amendment. So,
All those in favor? Aye.
aye.
All right. Discussion on permit fees, I think we've discussed that enough. The next meeting's the one we're gonna vote on it, correct? Okay. And next up is discussion on possible town forest at Diane Circle. Step up to the podium.
Hi, I'm Roberta Delaney. I'm on the Open Space Committee, and we've taken a few walks out there on Diane Circle, Jennings Drive, and Jeremiah Way. And we'd like to have the land placed in conservation and maybe open it up to like a town forest, have a couple parking spots on either end of Diane Circle, so the whole town can enjoy the area. It's very quiet and peaceful out there, and there's a lot of wildlife, and there's a few paths already, but it would need to be cleared a little bit to make a few more paths. Circle around. So we're hoping to get the land from the town and put it into conservation and make a town forest.
Yeah, I know, I was on the last
Yeah.
sidewalk you guys did, what, 2.5 weeks ago, 3 weeks
Yeah.
ago?
Yeah,
And I talked
hottest
about it
day.
the last meeting. And yeah, but you know what, it was nicer in
it
the
was
woods
nice
than it
out
was
there.
once you get out
It's
of the woods.
cooler, yeah.
This is land that the town currently owns. I know we can't obviously take it into conservation without getting approval. But this was talked about I think at the last August 3rd meeting, about land that we would like to see go into conservation for something
Yeah.
like this, so that the
Yeah.
town can enjoy it.
Yeah, and we have brought it up, we've already voted on it to do that.
Yeah,
We're just waiting to hear from the selectmen and the town manager on it. Still waiting.
can I put you on the spot, Alex?
Sure, absolutely.
Have you guys discussed it at all, or
Yeah.
not yet? Okay,
Yeah,
How many acres are back there?
it's a lot. Do you know how many off the top of your head?
about 70, 80 acres or something.
Yeah, I thought it was,
Yeah.
I thought it was like
Yeah.
83 or 87.
Yeah,
It's a lot.
yeah, yeah, it's
Yeah.
nice, and it's a nice area, people don't even know it's there, you know, and, even the people that live in the neighborhood, I find them, you know, and I said, walk your dog out there, it's a beautiful
Yeah.
walk, you know? I saw a couple of kids, they wanted to build forts, and I said, yeah, you can go out there and have fun, you know? So,
You can
It's a
probably
nice
find some of
area.
mine from 30 years ago.
I know, can we really go out there? I said, yes.
Yeah, I used to go
You know?
ice skating out there.
Yep, yep, my kids did too.
Yeah, it's a lot wetter now than it was.
Yeah, yeah, it's a lot
30 years
overgrown
ago.
now, too.
So yeah, just keep us in the loop and,
Okay, well, hopefully it will get on the, selectmen's,
yeah.
meeting and the town approves it. Okay, thank you.
Thank you for coming in. All right, next up, building permits. I didn't see any, I don't know, did you sign any last week or the week before?
Rescinded it, but yes.
Oh, yeah, yep. Site visits, you did one today,
Yes, yeah, which kind of
based off of
goes.
some correspondence.
Right, yeah, so I don't know, we talk about it with correspondence now?
You can.
Okay. So I know all of you know we got a complaint, about 75 Dale Street from Doug Ulrich, the neighbor. Tony reached out to Mr. Montgomery yesterday, and we made contact this morning. I was in the area, and I wanted to address the issues. So I took a look at it with Mr. Montgomery. He's already contacted Meadowbrook, which is a silt sock installing company, actually a local company out of Hanson. They have him tentatively on his schedule within the next 2 weeks to make all necessary repairs. And he was also going to add a section around the man-made depression out back. The pump, I didn't see it when I was there, so I assume he put it away, and I just advised him to keep, tools and things locked up and out of sight and secure. And the backhoe currently is being serviced, but it is going to return. He stated that backhoe is going to live on the property.
So the backhoe's not there now?
Not currently. It's
Okay,
out for
being
service.
serviced off-site.
Yep, off-site, exactly. And then, but it is gonna return. I just told him, keep it 100 feet from any of the wetlands.
Yep.
Other than that, he already had everything pretty much under control, so he was gonna let us know when the silt socks were repaired with Meadowbrook.
And he also said he's gonna tentatively set up a pre-construction meeting at some point,
Yes.
once they start going.
Yep, yeah, he's actually done nothing. He hasn't done any work
Yeah.
at all. I think he split a couple of pieces of firewood out there for a fire.
Yeah, I thought I saw a log splitter in one of the
Yeah,
pictures too.
yeah, there's not much out there. He hasn't done any work, and he's just waiting on his permit in the appeal period.
All right.
Sounds like he's doing due diligence.
He is, yeah, he definitely is.
I think that was it for site visits, right?
Yes.
That's it for correspondence too. Oh, there was one other. You emailed them all about the Memorial Bridge at Island Grove, the NOI that's coming up for that. If you guys want to take a look, an engineer sent over, basically that there's going to be an NOI coming for work on the bridge going to Highland Grove.
I think they did a feasibility study on that.
Yeah,
I remember hearing about that.
So the map, and you
Yeah.
can slide that over if you want to read video of it.
What am I doing here?
there you go.
Can you take that? Yeah, it's showing the bridge, yeah.
Yeah, it's,
Showing you
That's,
the
that's
location.
basically it is.
they're just
Thought there
telling
was
us that it's
a
gonna be,
I imagine that would be similar impact as the.
as the one
Central
right on the other
Street,
side of the water, yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm just wondering how they're gonna access some of that bridge as they do the repairs. Are they gonna be doing it from the bridge itself, or are they gonna be setting up some sort of decking, docking, loading devices?
I don't know how strong the bridge is, but, you know, when they get the notice of intent, I think we'll probably set up a site meeting like we did for the one over, by the DPW. And just see what they're gonna do before we take a vote on it. So next up, approval of meeting minutes. We have May 24th, 2022. You can't vote on this one here. Somebody want to make a motion to approve?
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes from the May 24th, 2022 meeting.
Have a second?
I'll second that.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And we already went over correspondence. Somebody want to make a motion to adjourn?
I'm in motion to adjourn?
Second?
I'll second that.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right.
Sorry,
Oh,
guys.
actually, we gotta do the orders condition first.
Oh, yes.
Okay.
Wow, well now we're restarting. All right, we'll do,
We just gotta like sign something.
do Beaver Brook first. All right, you guys have the,
Captain in there?
you guys have them?
I hope you get that.
Nice.
When is it?
November.
I wonder when the civil services, I think it comes up in October now.
Yeah, the open civil service.
Yeah, they changed their names.
All right, Tony, tell me when you're ready. All right, I had all of A, but A1, 20 feet. I had B1, 2, 3, and 6. I didn't have anything for C or D. Nothing for E. They're not doing any replications. Nothing for F. G, I had all of G, G5, 100 feet. H1, 2, 4, 5, 6, C, D, and G. And 7, 8, and 9. I1. I2, A, B, and C. Anybody have anything they want to add? So I make a motion to approve orders of condition?
I'll make a motion to approve the standard order conditions. Well,
Huh?
I don't know what property it's on.
The Beaverbrook,
Beaverbrook.
which is SE 084556.
SE 084556.
We have a second?
Second that.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Unanimous. Alright, so now for National Grid, where's the number again? SE 08405557. So for this one, I had all with A, same thing, A1 is 20 feet. You guys think anything from B applies? It's all temporary, it's all temporary
swamp
work,
maps
so
and stuff, yeah.
I didn't think anything from B or C would, or D for that matter. And E and F, same thing. G, I had all, and G5, 100 feet. And H, 1, 2, 4, 5, then 6 would be C, D, and G again. H, 1, 2, 3, 4, I'm sorry, 1, 2, 4, 5, and 6. 6 would be C, D, and G only. What about H7? I had a question mark on that one. They're not maintaining any culverts, detention basins, fertilizers or pesticides. If anything, though, I could say it would be H7C.
C, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
C.
Reestablishment
Yeah.
of lawn, like,
Yeah.
seeding and all that.
So H7C, then 8 and 9. H8 and 9. Then I had I1, I2, A, B, and C. That's all I had. Anybody have anything else to add? Somebody want to make a motion to approve?
I'll make a motion to approve the order of conditions for SE 084557.
Have a second? All those in favor?
Aye.
Now would someone like to make a motion to adjourn?
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
A second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.